the idea of doing a professorship became the obvious answer based on what my wife went through in terms of her cancer diagnosis. I was born in Indianapolis, Indiana, thanks to World War II in 1945. 5 years in Ohio, then grew up the rest of my young adult time period in Idaho. Graduated from Idaho State University with a bachelor's in mathematics and moved to Utah to do some graduate work at University of Utah. I did a lot of skiing in Utah because that's one of the big deals, a relatively long ski season, a lot of snow. One day in the lift line, I heard someone call my name from behind me. It was a friend from a yoga class that I was taking. And my wife was with her as a companion, and so the three of us ended up skiing the rest of that day. So that's where we met, was at Alta, Utah in the lift line. She grew up on a farm in southeast Colorado. She was homecoming queen at her high school, graduated that, went to University of Northern Colorado in Greeley, became an RN, and served in hospitals in Colorado, and then moved to Chicago for a time. I think the second Christmas we were together, I happened to shop in a jewelry store and I found this particular ring struck my fancy, and I bought it for Donna as a friendship ring. Close to Christmas Day, in her house, we'd gotten together for a meal and a glass of wine. I presented it to her as a friendship ring, and a negotiation ensued, and we ended up as an engagement ring. Thanksgiving of 2016, she was very uncomfortable due to what's called ascites, which is a fluid buildup in her abdomen. 4 days before Christmas, her PCP sent her to ER to get a CT scan done. And that was when the diagnosis of ovarian cancer was confirmed. So we started looking around for providers. And fortunately, we scored an appointment between Christmas and New Year's with Dr. Muller at the UNM Cancer Center. At first, of course, we were extremely hesitant about everything because her employment was with Loveless, followed by Albuquerque Health Partners. So we didn't know anything about UNM at that point. She knew some of the people there through the medical community, but we didn't know anything about the cancer center. Dr. Muller realized from Donna's responses and questions that Donna was medically knowledgeable and so on. Dr. Muller ratcheted up her conversation to where it was a peer-to-peer conversation instead of a patient-doctor conversation. And we were quite pleased with our initial discussions. I accompanied her to all of her visits, and so I was quite knowledgeable by the time had gone on with the UNM system and who was there, and as I was wont to say, they must put happy drugs in the water, because the people there were so cordial and so nice and supportive and empathetic. It was just almost unbelievable. So we were so happy with the care that Donna got and the consideration she received. There's several forms of ovarian cancer. The one that Donna had was a particularly nasty one. There's only one drug of the thousands of drugs that are out there these days for cancers. There was only one drug that attacked this particular cancer. And after 2 regimens of this drug, the third time Donna's cancer had become what's called platinum resistant, which means it wasn't responsive to that drug any longer. Dr. Muller had warned us that that type of situation didn't bode well for Donna's longevity, simply because there was no alternate treatment for that particular type of cancer. In the second round, we did a lot of skiing and bicycle riding during the chemo and after remission set in for the few months that we got it. And it was 2019, I guess probably late spring of 2019, she was put in hospice. We still managed to do some things together, but her health slowly failed until she passed in September. She was the light of my life. We didn't meet until our 40s. We'd both been single most of the time before that. We really did work together quite well. With all of that togetherness, with my appreciation for our personal relationship, for the kind of positive response we had to the care we received at UNM Cancer Center and UNM Hospital. And it was just the obvious thing to want to do some sort of donation. And then we heard the state matched my donation, which makes that hopefully particularly desirable to somebody in that professorship. So it just means a lot that I could do that for her, because she meant so much to me. And so that's her. I love that picture of her.